did a little research and I found out who this bitch is.
What is it?
So who is this hoe? Who is this hoe? Brit Edy is her name.
Years ago, Nene said that Kenya was going to be the downfall of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it seems like she clocked her tea.
Now, who ever thought that we'd see the day that Kenya Moore would be getting kicked off of the Real Housewives of Atlanta? And over a newcomer? Child, listen. Well, Kenya Moore also didn't think that what she did was serious enough to get the boot. So ever since, she's been crashing out, talking about justice for Kenya, accusing Bravo and Andy Cohen for not looking out for her and taking food from her child's mouth. But guess who's sipping her tea and awaiting her check to be cleared? Brit Edy. She's clowning Kenya hard for finally getting caught up in her mean girl antics. The new hair spa that Kenya badly wanted to promote on the show is now buried under a sea of controversy, and no one is talking about it. Child, the drama for this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta has been messy online, even more so than on the show. And I really hope y'all are seated for this one, because this tea is piping hot. And in case you haven't caught up on how all of this went down, here's the gist. So the whole city was definitely going purple when videos started showing up from Kenya Moore's hair spa event. The venue is so gorgeous, and Kenya said that she spent over $400,000 on this place. And it really shows. Everyone from the Housewives stepped out to support her. I mean, even Portia of all people were there hyping up the place and giving us a great Real Housewives moment.
So thank you first obviously to God for allowing me to have the resources, have the desire, have the motivation to open an establishment where all can feel welcome, can be pampered, and can feel empowered. So thank you so much to that. Thank you, Jehovah, for my daughter Brooklyn.
Let them know.
Who is the love of my life, where everything that I do is motivated from the love I have of my child. So thank you again for just blessing me, blessing this occasion, and please continue to cover my family, cover my friends, cover everyone in this world who's trying to empower other people and other women. I thank you, God. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for Kenya Moore Hair Spa.
This was Kenya's event. She's tied so much money in it, even her child's college fund, and she always acts like she's just a tiny bit above everybody. So you'd expect that this would be Kenya's shining moment to show the world why she is still the legend Kenya Moore. But girl, when the videos from the event started coming out, the whole thing had turned upside down.
Because I shared with her that I have been struggling. I have been struggling in the salon to get people in these seats. So I'm glad all of you are here to...
Remember, it wasn't only the Housewives cast that was there. A lot of other people showed up to participate or cover the event, and there were so many eyes watching as Kenya straight up pulled the nastiest revenge at her own event. Kenya's own photographer also said this about what went down. I'm still trying to recover myself. I couldn't even take a photo. My mouth fell to the floor and I'm just in awe. Like, that was the deadliest scene probably ever filmed in the franchise. Britt also made this very suspicious post on IG stories that said, "Thank you to everyone who has reached out to me about what took place at the event yesterday. I am still processing the nasty, low, disgusting, vile things that were done to try to hurt me. Bullying and revenge porn is never okay." Revenge porn? While people were pointing fingers everywhere, Kenya released a cryptic message of her own saying, "Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. The truth always comes to light." She followed it up with another post on Twitter claiming, "I would never engage in revenge porn. I have never distributed private images or footage of anyone nor solicited images owned by others to use to threaten or blackmail. I have always been vindicated. I can't talk about the story even with people planting fake news." Then more things from the event started to come out. Remember, all of this was happening around June 2024, so the latest season wasn't out yet. People were saying that Britt had threatened Kenya earlier at her event, and Kenya exposed Britt for being an escort and doing call girl things back in the day. But when this came out, people weren't really buying it. Come on now, this is Kenya Moore we're talking about. If they said Kenya did this at someone else's event, it would be a bit more believable. But at her own party, it just made no sense. And then, y'all, people leaked the audio from inside the event that made the claims undeniable. Like, Kenya, girl, no. OMG. Real Housewives of Atlanta has been losing some steam and drama, and Kenya, being one of the OGs, was probably one of the last few people left driving the plot forward. So when word got out that Bravo had stopped filming with Kenya because of this, everyone was seated and ready to see exactly what happened to get to this point.
Sometimes you gotta remember the what you put out in some way, somehow will come right back.
What you get back.
What you will get back.
Yes.
That's right.
So, karma's real.
Yes.
So
Brit Edy was one of the newcomers introduced to the Housewives, and she came in ready to go. From the first episode, it was giving, and Kenya really didn't care much about her, while Britt was sort of trying to get her to care. At Angela's all-black dinner party, Britt attempted to get Kenya to acknowledge her by asking if Kenya was capable of saying anything nice about her. But Kenya said that she can speak nicely to everyone at the table since she ain't got beef with them. Britt emphasized that she was referring to herself and not everyone at the table. And then Kenya flicked her wrist like she was still up on the Miss USA stage and said peasants cannot come for queens. Child.
Speak to everyone.
This wasn't about everyone. You want me to read it again?
Kindly.
Would you like for me to read it again?
I'm not going to
for
play
you?
these childish games. Peasants cannot come for its queens.
That was what? You said peasant?
We have olive oil here.
Please
You
stop. I gotta
Let's
go
wrap
home.
it up, ladies.
Yeah,
I didn't sing for her.
Thank you for using my catchphrase.
Hey, girl, get the out of here. Get the out of here.
And after that, Britt blew up. It was like she was so pressed about it. So while she was being escorted out, apparently she mentioned that she was carrying her pistol and wasn't afraid to use it if she sensed any disrespect. Although she didn't have the pew-pew on her at the moment, she did threaten to use it on Kenya.
Britt is doing the absolute most.
Girl, what is this energy?
Britt is overreacting.
Slow down a little bit. It ain't that deep.
Now that was not okay at all. Maybe Britt should be taking that energy over to Love and Hip Hop because Real Housewives isn't, or at least shouldn't be, the place for those kind of vibes. Kenya was, of course, pretty shaken up about it and told the showrunner and producers that what Britt said was not okay at all. Portia spoke up for her too and asked production to address the comment. But nothing was done to Britt. She wasn't asked to sit out a few episodes, nor was she given a slap on the wrist. It was like the show must go on and they just made Kenya more angry. And when she said she was going to get her own justice, baby, Kenya meant every word of it and went and scorched earth on Britt. She came to her own spa event with boards like she was given a picture presentation and had photos of Britt in different compromising positions doing so many unmentionable things. She really didn't have to dig that deep to find anything because, like we said, Britt was a call girl and an escort and did some stuff on Snapchat that ain't ever going away. And all Kenya had to do was find it. And girl, that was low. Kenya can be mean, but this was below the belt. All the housewives started leaving, and there were rumors that Portia even went to production and asked them to cut her out the scenes so that it would look like she wasn't even at the event at all. Britt had come too because she wanted to apologize for what had gone down at the restaurant previously, as she saw herself all plastered up in very compromising positions. No one wanted to touch this mess with a 10-foot pole. Even Cynthia Bailey, Kenya's friend on the show, told her that what she did was basically classless and that she should have never stooped so low. Cynthia admitted that whatever the place is that is lower than hell, that's where Kenya was with that revenge on Britt.
And I want her, I know what she's capable of as just, she's a great mom.
Yes.
And I see the vision for what she's trying to do with Kenya Moore hair care. And I was like, no, this is not it. This is not it. This is not it. So
Bravo didn't want anything to do with it either and immediately stopped filming with Kenya. Word is that Brit Edy may have sued Bravo for allowing those images to be shown, stating that it was revenge porn and they had to settle with her out of court so it wouldn't blow up. And y'all know these companies don't play about their reputation or their coin, no matter who you are. And before you knew it, Kenya was kicked off the cast and wasn't allowed to film for the rest of the season. Her check was cut, her hair spa didn't get the positive press that it needed, and girl, Kenya was kicked off the show like she wasn't even a legend.
So I didn't feel like I was being protected, and I took matters into my own hands.
What did you do?
did my research on her. I found a lot of information, especially in the explicit world, with a few clicks, with people helping me. I didn't get things sent to me, photos or videos that I did see, allegedly that were her. And I said, okay, if no one else is going to step up for me and protect me, I'm going to protect myself. Full accountability for the things that I've done. I am sorry for what I've done. I didn't have to take it that far. But when I felt threatened, I've never had a child and be in a situation like this before. So that's why I escalated it to the point where I was protecting not only myself, but my child.
She went on to Tamron Hall to take accountability for her actions and also made a very warm post on IG thanking her fans for being her besties for 12 years. But the thing is, Kenya really wasn't expecting that kind of reaction that she got. Kenya's not innocent, and she would often play a villain role in the series. But a lot of y'all's faves that Bravo keeps hiring back are on the second side of that coin. Phaedra lied about the entire Kandi Burruss and her husband Todd Tucker SA thing, yet Bravo was still trying to bring her back. Portia also assaulted Cynthia, but you didn't see the network kicking her out. Housewives do crazy-ish to each other all the time, and Kenya has done some messy stuff that network has allowed her to get away with for years. But this time around, Kenya sabotaged herself. She messed up her moment, her bag, and ruined what was supposed to be the crowning moment of her hard work and dedication. And she hasn't been taking it too well. She came out to defend herself, claiming that no one had her back. But Portia slapped that straight down and said that she had been backing Kenya through it all until she came out with those pictures of Britt when she was allegedly a minor. Kenya was really crashing out. She was making posts saying justice for Kenya and shared comments that defended her actions. And when Andy Cohen described what she did as revenge porn, she clapped back saying, "The two co-hosts are extremely ignorant. Revenge porn? If someone showed Kim K's sex tapes to you, is that revenge porn? I found that plus tons of others online. She signed a release for it, so it's fair." You don't want activated Kenya. I shouldn't have shown at my event, but for the love of God, why would they ignore a clear gun threat? Now, Bravo should have sat Britt out a few episodes after what she said, but let's keep it a buck. Y'all, Kenya has been allowed to get away with a whole lot. She pulled the chair right from under Kim Fields and brought a raging man onto the show who knocked out security. She also threatened to knock Phaedra's teeth out while she was pregnant. Right now, Kenya is doing everything but taking accountability and is possibly dragging down every chance of coming back to the franchise or working with NBC again. But guess who's thriving from the chaos?
Talk to Kenya since.
She's not reached out to me. Actually, she blocked me. So I would have thought at the very least she would have shown some remorse, or at least, even if it wasn't a public apology to me, I thought she would have at least reached out just to show that, she's sorry. And I haven't received anything.
Britt has been going on press tour talking about what happened, and she ain't losing any money because she's still on every episode of this season. In fact, she's got a lot more press, and she said that Kenya hasn't reached out to apologize to her at all, and then followed it up with a slight dig at Kenya with the caption that read, "I'm still standing strong no matter what." Now, nobody's saying that Britt is innocent in all of this, but people are really asking Kenya to take some accountability and realize when she's losing a fight. Oh, Kenya Moore is effing psycho. If I was Brit Edy, I'd lawyer up and take that beat down. And Bravo too, because I'm sure they knew what time Kenya was on at that grand opening. Kenya Moore really used her good printer ink to print out those pictures of Brit Edy and made an errand to craft section of the store so she could glue them to a poster board and do revenge porn at her event for business that cost her $500,000. Wow. Two things can be true at the same time. Britt was wrong, but Kenya went to hell. She won that war for sure because there's nothing lower than that. But what would you do if you were in Kenya's shoes? Do you think she was right to do what she did? Share your thoughts in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe because you really don't want to miss the next video. And I'll see you then. Bye, baddies.